Welcome to the weekend workout filmed on a weekday. My name is Ian.
I'm Lauren, and I'm mind blown by that. But you can do the weekend workout anytime.
Any day of the week.
And this is week 6 of the final semester. And today it's very exciting. We're going to recap in 30 minutes everything we've done over the past 6 weeks, starting with a bodyweight warm-up.
And offering as the building blocks to your success today in this half-hour session, and as we get back to our usual routine starting next week. Let's start, as Lauren said, with the warm-up. For that, we'll get to the floor right away. We'll do our knees over toes as our ankle squat, progress to day 2, and then use your glutes, extend those hips, and push through. Repeat one more time with the same effort to soften those fronts and the ankles. Now get heavy on the toes as you cramp glutes and push through. Then we'll work on other kinds of balances like those hand balances, but also the tippy toe kind. So hold for a second, are the ribs over the hips, and then slow back down. Then we'll go knees over toes, and for 2 repetitions, can we stay the same height, but peel those heels off the ground, and then slowly return them back to flat feet. And repeat one more time as we get back up to the toe tips. Then we'll squeeze the glutes and extend the hips with maybe a tippy toe allowance for some balance. And then again, a slow and steady controlled flat feet back down to the floor. We'll get all the way to the floor this time as we go knees over toes. Then we'll softly pick up those heels, descending lower like that toe squat in the thumbnail slide there. And then the knees can touch, the hips can go through, and I'll continue the warm up with the wrists. We'll land on the floor, fingertips, calluses, full hands, with those blood donations facing forward. At the head neck, quickly go extension, meaning look forward, and then tuck a chin, looking down. Repeat one more time as you look forward, are the fingers heavy, knuckles connected, shoulders pulled down, and then one last time, looking between the hands. Then use those first knuckles as we do our first knuckle push-up, and then slowly return the hands to the floor. And up with straight elbows, and then back down, and do that one more time, and flick the floor away, extending the hips through. Shake it out. Let's switch around those hands, fingertips facing the knees, and same effort to land fingers, calluses, and hands. Now with the head neck, laterally bend or an ear to a shoulder. Move your head a little bit, and the neck, not at all. Keep your neck stable. Check in, move the head, make sure you can breathe, and that's 2 each side for me, so I'll return to the middle, and now I'll gently bend my elbows and peel those hands off the floor, and then either kneeling tall like Lauren or sitting down like me. Let's just check our rotation at our head neck, doing a rotation looking over the shoulder, finish tall, another rotation, and sets of 2. Make sure our core and shoulders can stay stable. It's the head moving, the neck not very much. Return to the middle, shake it out, and on to more training tips with Lauren.
All right, let's work through our first crawl right now, and then in between we'll open those hips a little bit. So our first crawl today, going back to the basics, let's just get our core fired up, which will be first starting our bear hover, then a bear locomotion. So with our hands underneath our shoulders, our toes tucked lightly, let's gently pull the floor together underneath of us, creating tension in our core, and imagine our core is a tree trunk, and we want to keep it nice and tight, but just like a tree, we need to breathe. So as you breathe behind that tree trunk, maybe you stay, maybe you hover your knees off the floor. Hold. Without moving, pull your right hand to your right hip, and pull your left hand to your left hip. We're pulling in parallel tension right now. We're breathing, 3, 2, soft landing, flick the floor away, shake it out. This time, let's add that X pattern of tension. Hands softly land, shoulders down, create tension, hover the knees off the floor. Without moving, pull your right hand to your left hip, then your left hand to your right hip, then pull back, both at the same time, creating that X pattern of tension for 5, 4, 3, 2, soft landing, flick the floor away. The first crawl we learned was that bear crawl, so it'll be opposite hand and foot, taking a step forward with a fancy bowl of water on your back that you don't want to spill. So come on down, fancy bowl of water placed, hover knees off the floor. Don't spill your water as you take a step opposite hand and foot in the forward direction. Another way to check that you're not twisting from side to side is, are your knees staying the same distance away from the floor the whole time? Now let's try to go backwards back. Again, opposite hand and foot. Peel the palm away first, flick the fingers. Last one, end up with hands square, knees square, hold, then knees come down. Flick the floor away, have your toes tucked. We'll rock ourselves back up to standing with or without hands. Let's try to stay on the tiptoes. Slowly press to arouse. Then with knees nice and straight, descend, heels find the floor. Shake that up. Little leg warm up in between, and we have one more crawl.
One more crawl. Until then, let's just get the twisty turny hips going. Do a point foot forward. This is handstand class, so point those toes, but right now, break that rule and pull the foot to the shin. With the leg staying in place, we're going to turn out in the hip. That's that kneecap showing itself out to the side. And then do that turn in on the hip, ensuring the standing hip is again pushing forward. Repeat one more of each of an out turn, an in turn, but then finish out and point. Now take that leg to the side. If you look down, the toe line should just be about in line with your other foot. And then do your other foot shape or foot to shin, and then turn out with the inseams forward, and then repeat a turn in, a turn out. Cramp that standing leg, use your balancing to the side if you need. I'm turned in, I'll turn out one more time, and then turn in one more time, and point the foot, and bring it underneath, and finish nice and tall. Move a little bit, get your balancing, repeat the same thing other side. So point to the front, but then change the ankle, then do our turn out, and then our turn in. Keep the standing hip cramped, mobilizing the ball socket of this elevated leg. I'm turned out, I'll turn in one last time, and finish with a turned out position with a point. Then to the side with my hips forward. Change your foot shape, turn in on the hip, turn out. Is the knee staying straight? Is the butt cheek squeezed? This is an in shape for me. I'll go one more time out, one more time in, point the foot, get tall as you pull it under. It's time to go back to the floor, so I'll get there through the toe squat. It's the knees over toes, the heels that peel up, the knees that gently touch the ground, the glutes that squeeze, and then to Lauren, the Zoo Master, to crawl.
We'll get ready for that next crawl here, but that crawl will also help us get ready towards those kick-ups. So right now we'll assume our elephant or our down dog position, work between the plank and that, as well as lifting a single leg off the floor. So first, let's place ourselves in that plank position. So hands under shoulders, toes tucked. Hips lightly tucked under, squeezing your cheeks and pulling the floor together and breathing. Then starting at the hips, pelvis, tailbone, whatever you like to call it, tip it towards the ceiling. Lifting the hips, we'll keep 2 feet down right now. Let's prioritize that anterior tip of the hips, which means tailbone to the ceiling, a light bend in knees. Now, keep the floor pushing away so you have elevated shoulders and straight elbows. Then, with the knees gently, try to straighten them, keeping the tailbone tipped to the ceiling. You should feel those hamstrings. I want you to feel a little more hamstrings than you do calves. So what I like to think about is straightening the knees versus just trying to press the heels towards the floor. Breathe. Then pull yourself back to your through to the plank and we'll hold. If you're ready to progress this drill, this time from the plank position, we'll flick the floor away, lift a single leg up towards the sky. Again, we're staying square here. We're not opening that hip. We're keeping it closed for our kick-ups. Then pull yourself back through to that plank position and hold for 3. 2, push the floor forward, lift the hips, other leg comes with you. Square up the hips, breathe, reach it to the ceiling, pull yourself through again, one more time on each side. Try to get those shoulders over top of your fingertips for wrist extension, then push forward to come back up. Hips square, 3, 2, knees straight, pull yourself through. Wrists over fingers, shoulders over fingers. Flick, lift up, square up hips. We'll end one more time in that plank, reaching into that wrist extension for 3, 2, then lift the hips, lightly bend the knees to end up in your hinge position as you walk your hands back towards your feet, long spine, push down and away to stand up tall. Woo.
Giving those upper body muscles and wrists in particular a little break. We'll continue to work on that body awareness as we work through the series of that movement clock. The The standing leg will do the bending. The leg that moves up front and around that clock face stays very straight. So point the toe as you bend the knee you're standing on, and then push out front. We'll go from the front to the diagonal out to the front side, and then right out to that lateral side. Tall as we bring back in. Then out to the back corner, keeping the hips and shoulders face forward, and then to the back, finding that 6 o'clock or straight line behind you and under. We'll switch legs and repeat. The knee that bends stays in place. The one that stays straight will move to the front and now the diagonal, and tall. And then out to the side, and tall. The back corner, spread, reach energy and pull it back in. And then lastly, out the back, straight ahead, and then back to the floor. We'll go knees over toes.
No, 1 second.
1 second, says Lauren.
So we said we do 2 sets of everything we've done over the past 6 weeks. We just did 2 sets of our crawls. The next week, going back a couple weeks, we progressed working with our ladder here. So you say in your head, I don't have a ladder, no problem. I say, do you have a couch or a coffee table that doesn't move, so push it against a wall? That's all you need. So what you'll do is you'll place your feet on the couch or the coffee table, whatever is safe, be safe. And maybe it's this low. Maybe it's the next level coffee table, or a little bit higher, it's up to you. But we're trying right now, your first goal here is to get your butt over your shoulders, over your wrists. Let's start first with just your legs down, and just trying to get that pike position. Just hold this and breathe another 5 or so seconds, that hollow shape for 3, 2, and then gently come down. We'll reach that leg up to the ceiling next time.
Set 2, I guess, was Lauren's cue right there. So taking your time getting overhead and starting low. Those elephant crawls are a nice place to regress this skill to, or progress your handstand with this box assist or ladder assist rep. Hands are pressing down and we're shrugging our shoulders. That's performance enhancing. We're breathing, and Lauren right now is looking straight behind her, keeping her head in line. It could be appropriate to look forward. And that's again about that 15-second interval we're looking for. This I Go, You Go pattern will follow us through today's practice.
So if that felt like probably challenging, but doable, maybe this time you add on. You could continue with the same thing, go back to your bear crawls or planks, or this time try to lift a leg. What you'll notice Ethan's doing very well here is he's keeping that hip square. So no rotating open, keep that squareness. That's a word. Breathe, and as well, pointing the toes up to the sky. One more time each side there, pushing the floor away. Nice straight arms, screwed right in. Breathing, reaching, great job. And then always dismounting with control.
Whew. Shake it out. There's high tension present within that handstand or this inversion. So give yourself that opportunity to shake it out in between to stay nice and fresh. As Lauren did there, she's walking her hands in, compressing with her core, and she commented already on the pointed toes, straight leg, and those squared hips. Take your time. One leg's bound to be a little bit more comfortable overhead than the other, but take time doing both. Save some.
Is that obvious?
No, it's not. Not at all. But that one is your hard leg, I think.
Yeah.
That's more preferred this leg. So we're all going to have that leg work both sides. It'll help the brain-body connection. It'll make that stronger side feel even easier when we go into it.
I'm gonna get that coffee table out of the way.
That's right. So we like the crawls. We like the body weight awareness upside down, because eventually we're going to kick up into that position, but there's one more drill first. One with me with legs, and then another exercise with that wall. So clear some wall space if you haven't already. Continuing the squat thing, we'll continue to work on the single leg. Pull up that one ankle to the standing leg ankle, that courte-pied, and then we'll bend a single leg squat and extend that hip through full glute cramp. We'll do only sets of 2 here, keeping the rests nice and short for the handstand, but after that last rep now, can we find a little bit of our toe balance? Just a little bit of paper underneath there, nice and slow, and as if your cell phone is underneath of your heel, take your time as you come back down as to not crush that screen. Never used that analogy before, maybe that helps. Work with
I
control
wouldn't want class
and
to
kick.
you.
Heck no. So here we are. We've pulled up. Lauren's already in that gorgeous little toe squat, and use your butt cheek. Cramp through and pull up the kneecap at the end. One more repetition, just a set of 2. We'll get low, we'll push through, When the kneecaps up and the glutes are squeezed, find that balance and hold
Don't
for a
look at your
second.
friend.
Don't look at your wobbly friend. And slow it down. Sometimes it's better than others. I'll shake that out and I'll make it up for it on this wall climb. Join me.
So as mentioned, we're progressing our skills here and reviewing what we've done. Hopefully, you're either working with me or with Ian and taking a break in between off those wrists. Don't go at the same time as both of us, there'll be lots of too much work. But right now, we're climbing the wall if you're ready to progress this skill. Facing the wall, climbing up towards it. Why do we face the wall, one might ask? 15 seconds started on the clock, by the way. Because this encourages our hollow position versus ending up kicking the wall into our banana where we have our flare ribs and no abs. You had 5 more seconds, but Ian came down for 3.
5 seconds.
2.
Oops.
Take your time coming out of that safely.
Choose to be done versus being forced to come out with a little bit less control. So as Lauren goes for about 30 seconds, is that how long we're holding?
That was
today?
15.
15. Okay, so 15 seconds on the clock, which is just about 5 seconds in. And those cues again, Lauren shares great. The hands are pushing down, the hollow body shape, those grips, the hips shapes. 3 more seconds, Team Lauren there. There you go. That's 15.
That makes so much fun.
Me too. But we'll continue this I go, you go, so as long as the body's good, let's do it again.
So we're shaking out our wrists here as team Ian goes in 3, 2, facing the wall. What that might mean is you're not flush up against the wall today, nor tomorrow, nor the next day. It might take you some time to get nice and tight to that wall, but practice these basics. 5. If you don't practice these, you'll skip ahead, but you'll hit a point, come on down. Or you won't be able to progress because you never built on that strong foundation. So take your time and face the wall.
Be relentless about the basics. Those bigger skills will present themselves with a little bit more predictability and frequency. So Team Lauren, you're up on that wall, we're going for 15. Today and the last couple of weeks, you've been 15 to maybe 30 seconds on that wall, but perhaps build this endurance towards that 30-second to 1 minute. Lauren's team, you have about 4 seconds left there. Whether that's a high 5 or 4, 3, 2, it's just about your 15. Come on down, shake it out, and let's return to those legs. It's a little bit of a spot or a kickstand. So pull the single leg up, chaps are on a single leg base of support. Then we'll go knee bend over toe. Now take that elevated leg, touch down the ground, use it to help yourself get lower, then pull it up and cramp those glutes, stiffen the knees, and finish nice and tall. Repeating again, the pull down effort, a kickstand to facilitate that effort to get lower, remove a kickstand, drive through with strength, and let's just hold a really quick balance up there too, and hopefully the balances are getting a little bit more refined as you spend a little bit more time with them. Come down, don't crush your cell phone, don't put your cell phone
Or
in
do
your
it,
phone.
and then you won't have one.
Yeah,
Even
but then
better.
they can't stream us.
Oh, keep yourself.
Keep yourself. Okay, so here we go. We're up on our single leg squat. We're down on our single leg squat. We'll utilize the kickstand. We'll get a little lower, then pull up and cramp the hip, pull up the kneecap, finish tight and strong. Repeating, down with control. Use the bar aid if we need. Touch, get low, pull up, extend that hip through. And again, stiffen the leg. It's the butt cheek that allows you to balance on that toe. And then slow down. Whew, here we are.
All right.
We've done crawls, we've done assisted stands, we've done wall stands, and all of that is to find the position we try to get when we do our kick up.
So we have 3 different types of kick-ups we've been working on over the past weeks. We will perform all 3 once, and then you'll pick your favorite and you'll get to practice that again. First time through, because I'm talking first, Ian will be doing our, he's doing our tripod entry. So a tripod entry is 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, both hands on the floor. First thing first, stack those shoulders. Next, get some baby air to start. I do like to encourage switching your feet here, so a little scissor kick, so that you can practice taking off both legs. As mentioned before, you're gonna have a preferred leg, but practice both for a little bit. Progress to get towards that overhead. And remember, if you keep that leading leg behind you, it will always fall back to the floor, and you don't have to worry about kicking yourself over right now. Breathe, try to find a little bit of hang time, even if that's one Mississippi.
Time goes by very slow or very fast when you're upside down. So celebrate those little breaths of air or those moments where you can celebrate being upside down because we know it's very challenging. So Lauren's favorite way to get in that handstand is via this version of the kick up. So repeat 1 or 2 more. Working the I go, you go, give yourself some rest, allows yourself some shake, celebrate the moments where you do get upside down. And then, my favorite way to get in the handstand is this one right here.
So this is that step-in entry. So what I like to promote first is those arms overhead, elbows are straight, shoulders are already elevated, and you're in your hollow position. You'll take that single leg step in. Again, maybe try that alternating scissor or just alternate the leg you take off with here. As you do your step in kick up, think about getting up and over something to get into this position versus attacking the floor at a 45-degree angle. Up and over the little fence to get your hips over top of your head. Again, you're reaching for the ceiling. You're trying to point those toes. Maybe you're alternating that kick up. Start baby, progress.
And finish fresh. Finish like you could do 1 or 2 more versus gravity having its way with you and pulling you back down. So Lawrence has a hollow out, you're already shrugging, and those toes are definitely pointed. I recommend that too. It's that toe flick in that 3-point plank we practiced, and utilize that same skill here. Tight, from the floor to the ceiling, through the tips of the fingers, to the tips of those toes. Just a couple more, and we did save the hardest one for last, that tuck.
This is the tuck. Now again, if you just approach this, I'm just going to get my feet off the floor. You're a winner here today. With those hands gripping, this is a 2-foot takeoff where we try to stay in that tuck position as best as we can, which is knees bent tight to the body. You have to get so much hop here that you get your hips towards over your head. Dismount side to side as needed. Try to keep it soft. This is a lot of work to do a 2-legged hop, getting those hips towards overhead, trying to hold it, trying to stay tucked, and coming down with control.
I may have been able to do 1 more, but I really wanted to celebrate with that successful last rep too. Keep that in mind and go back and forth between maintaining the integrity of your practice while also chasing some pretty sweet looking shapes, just like Lauren's tuck there. Hold, breathe, amazing. It must be week 6. All these skills are coming together so nicely, just in time for me to announcer's jinx myself as we get into this next exercise coming up. But first, one last exercise on the squat.
We used to do one last and then pick your favorite kick up, then a minute.
Oh, pick your favorite. Let's do that now.
Okay. Pick your favorite kick up or your favorite drill from this class today. Right now, let's put 20 seconds on the clock for Team Ian. We'll shake out our hands. Team Ian has 20 seconds here to practice his favorite kick up. He likes that step-in entry, so that's what he's practicing here today. Thinking about the up and over, the hollow position before he steps in, the soft landing on hands. As well, I forgot to mention that push the floor away. So when you're doing the step-in, try to press so much away from the floor that you always end up back into your standing position. So as it comes down, flick, stand back up. Try not to end the last one. Try not to end folded in half. You got a little more practice time there.
Nice and tall. Shake it out. So Team Lauren, go. You could be following Lauren along with her preferred tripod here, or again, any of those drills that we've done to this point. Time under tension in little bits. 10 seconds times 10 sets in a day, that's about 100 seconds. You'll get a handstand, there we go. You'll get your handstand goals by applying little tension techniques throughout the day versus perhaps those all-out efforts. Practicing, kicking up, getting that nice leg split, hollowing out gorgeously.
The thing about also practicing, sorry to interrupt,
Good.
those kick-ups is learning how much kick-up force you need to get yourself into that upside down position. Not too much, not too little, just right. So finding that just right amount is also an important lesson to learn in doing those kick-ups, not always worrying about how much time you spend in the upside down position.
There's one more skill for these legs and one more skill for the handstand. Let's get the legs done and over with. We'll take a single leg to the front, bending on the other leg. Point the toe, lift it, and hold, and return it to the floor. Then open it to the side, keeping the hips forward, and repeat the effort of lifting the leg, returning to the floor, return to the front, and stand tall. Let's repeat that same effort one more time. of a knee bend over toe single leg squat. Lift the leg, compress that hip in the femur and hold, and tap. Then bring it to the side, keep the hips forward, the hips don't move, the leg lifts, tap it, front, push forward. I hope it's safely burning the quadriceps of the standing leg and the hip flexors of the other leg. Avoid it being tension on the knee proper, stress the muscles around those joints. We'll go a single leg, knee bend. Lift off the floor. Did you lift from the hip in a hike or the true hip flexion and then tap down? Take the leg to the side, keep the hips presenting or energizing forward, and point those toes. Turn out the inseam, tap down, bring it front, stand tall for a break, and repeat one more time. The knee bend over the toe, pull into the socket as we're lifting that up, and breathe, and then tap, and bring it to the side. Hips stay forward, the hip stays low as that leg or femur bone lifts high, and we hold, and we tap, and we bring it. And thank goodness those legs are done. And it's the very last drill of our very last episode in our third, but not last semester.
So we have our 1 minute of fun here. We'll put 1 minute on the clock. Why we do 1 minute? Well, our ultimate goal is a 1 minute handstand. I'm sure once we get that, we want to do longer. But until then, it's elusive right now. It's hanging over our heads that minute. So we're going to aim for 1 minute. If 1 minute is too long, try 20 seconds, take a little break, 20 seconds. Bear curls, elephant curls, face the wall, climb your coffee table, do some cartwheels, be safe. Whatever it is you're going to do, let's start it in 5 seconds. You might hear some dragon breathing, but you're probably not going to hear any talking for the next minute.
In 5,
3, oh, okay.
4, take a big breath. Let's get it. Gone. So 45 seconds.
So tired.
Shake it out.
Oh.
So while that minute goal is eluding us today.
Wait, let them keep practicing.
Okay. Shh.
You still have 7 more seconds, so if you're up there, keep holding or doing what you're going to do for 3, 2, and shake it up. Great job on that minute.
Yeah, had to add a little OGs in there to get started.
Yeah.
A solid 30, 35 seconds. I think one might have 40, 45 in there. So great job. That's been week 6. And again, progress is not linear. So sometimes we do have those moments that are easier than others. But we definitely keep coming back to this practice to have fun with our strength and to celebrate our practice with you.
So thanks for joining us today over the last 6 weeks and starting a new semester next week. We like to take this week off, go outside, do something else, go for walks, eat some vegetables, drink some water, go to bed early, have some rest, and then we'll come back and approach our training again after a little rest. On Tuesdays, we have our kettlebell. Normally at this time, our kettlebell programming. Thursdays, we're at the bar, and Saturdays, we play with our body weight strength. Or you choose your own schedule and follow along anytime when they're off. During the archives, so make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. Check out our website, barsandbells.com. And until next time,
Take care.
stay strong.
Train safe.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.